Over the past 15 years, American workers have taken less and less vacation. In 2015, 55% of Americans surveyed didn't use all their vacation time, leaving 658 million days unused and 222 million days lost. But workers who refuse to take their time off may be viewed as work martyrs. Tony Schwartz is founder and CEO of the Energy Project, which advises companies on how to become more productive. Tony, welcome back to Studio 57.
Thank you.
So can we become more productive by taking more time off?
I mean, the research is pretty clear that you can. It's like a bank account. You keep taking money out of your bank account and eventually you're bankrupt. And that's essentially what we do when we don't take vacation. You got to keep refueling the tank. And when you do that, you're more productive when you are working.
What exactly is a martyr?
You know, a martyr is the person who self-righteously tells you how they pulled an all-nighter or how overwhelmed they are or how crazed they are. It's a humble brag.
Okay, all right.
Or not so humble in this case, potentially, yes.
I'm asking for a friend here. Since 1978, Americans' vacation usage has steadily declined. We've seen this happen over and over. I mean, we just listed the numbers, which sound insane in some ways. Americans now take nearly a week less. Why aren't Americans taking their vacation time?
You know, I think there's several reasons. I mean, I think number one, putting everything else aside, people feel scared that if they do take vacation, they'll come back to no job. That's a legacy of the recession. But I think the other reason is that, the second reason is that people actually don't feel, as this little clip showed, as if they have value if they're not working. We're so focused on what we do that we lose connection to the idea that we have any value if we're not working.
From the health and wellness and productivity perspective, is it better, from what you've seen, to do the if you're going to take the vacations, to do the shorter ones, 3 or 4 days, or a longer 1-2 weeks? What's the most effective thing to do?
So, first of all, you're in some sense conditioned by whatever your employer allows you to do, but from my perspective, as someone who 3 weeks from now will begin my 4th summer of a 30-day vacation.
Ooh, wow.
So I run a company that goes and tells employers to give more vacation, not less. We give 5 weeks to people in their first year, 6 weeks after that. So what we've learned is that it really helps to take a more extended vacation. I'm not suggesting that most people are going to be able to take 4 weeks. The problem is it takes time to wind down, and you're more anxious in the early days than you would be if you took a little bit longer.
And it could take 5 or 6 days to get there.
There's no question. And then if you're taking a week's vacation on the last day, you're starting to feel relaxed, and before the day ends, you're on your way home.
You said you offer 5 weeks vacation. There are these startup companies that offer unlimited vacation. Why do you think that's a terrible idea?
Well, I do think it's a terrible idea because what it does is it actually imposes on people guilt about all any vacation they take. If somebody says to you, you have 3 weeks vacation, you feel comfortable or more comfortable taking that. If somebody says to you, take as much as you want, but we'll be noticing, the odds are you're not going to take as much. So a really poor idea. We need boundaries.
How do companies encourage employees to take vacation?
Well, I mean, the number one way is for the person who's in charge.
Or do they?
Yes, they don't. They very surely don't in many companies. But the number one way is to role model it. So, it's what I'm trying to do is I'm not only trying to take a vacation for myself, but as another reason to take it, I want other people to feel comfortable taking it.
And not feel guilty about it, right?
No, in fact, I think as we started, it actually increases your likelihood of being productive. And there's good research saying that there's an EY study of 50,000 people, Ernst & Young, that found that people's performance reviews increased the quality of the performance review with every additional vacation day they took. That's a pretty counterintuitive but powerful idea.
Well, there's one study that says that employees who took 11 or more vacation days a year were more likely to receive a recent raise or a bonus than employees who took less time. Why is that? Very
much the same idea, that the question is not how many hours you work. The question is, what do you accomplish during the hours you work? So I think of it as I call it interval life. This is operating not as a marathoner where you're constantly holding back on spending all your energy, but you're fully investing and then you're refueling. And that's a very different way of working. And I think it's the only way in a world of relentlessly rising demand that people are going to be, the companies are going to be able to get the best from their employees.
And I think the families benefit too.
Well, I mean, clearly, although, there's no small number of people who don't like to take vacations because they know that being with their families is harder than working. That's a secret that nobody's going to
Wow, a
acknowledge.
vacation from your vacation? I've never heard of.
Well,
never
at
heard of
least
such
you know
a thing.
there is an end, right? To get back to work. Tony
thanks.
Schwartz, thanks. That's
Thank
an
you.
interesting perspective to look at it. I'm putting in for some vacation days.